Hello. Hello, Alex.
Hello, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you? Oh
Great,
my
thanks so much
goodness.
for chatting with me today.
Oh, I am so excited to have you on. We'll wait as people get signed in with us
Okay.
to our Friday Kid Inventor. This is no usual kid, though, for everyone out there. Alex is wise beyond his years. So thank you, Alex, for taking the time to chat with us today.
Yeah, thanks so much. It's great to speak with you and thanks everybody for joining.
Oh, awesome. Okay, let's see. We have some people ready to go. So, hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for yet another celebration of Kid Inventors. We are hoping you are safe and healthy in your homes. I am Christine Lawler King from the Invention Convention Worldwide program, and I am joined by a superstar, famous inventor, Alex Knoll, a ninth grader from Idaho. Hello again, Alex.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much. I am honored to have you with us today.
Yes.
And let me tell everyone out there, for people who are watching, this young man has experienced more than most adults have in their life. So the fact that you are here with us today, Alex, is awesome.
Oh, well, I appreciate the opportunity. It's great to speak with you and it's great to have everybody with us.
Oh, great. Awesome. So before we begin, Alex, I need to tell everyone about all of the ones that I know of, the public speaking opportunities and press that you have had at such a young age. So first, you have been on the Ellen DeGeneres show not once, not twice, three times.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Oh my goodness. And we will show a clip from Alex's first appearance with Ellen very shortly. But I also want to tell everyone you have appeared on the BBC, the Irish Times, NBC Nightly News, Sky News. You've also been recognized by the Queen's Commonwealth Trust and by the International Paralympics Committee. Alex, what? That's enough. But did I forget anything?
Oh no, you covered a lot of them. That's
Oh,
very
and how do these opportunities feel? Again, you've just done so much at such a young age.
Oh, it's great, and it's great to share the message of accessibility and inclusion, and sharing Ability app, my invention, with other people, and spreading the word around the world about it. So,
Oh, that's great. So let's first show people a clip from your very first appearance on Ellen. I am going to attempt to share that video. So let's cross our fingers
yeah.
that it works. Okay, we're gonna share. Let's make sure. I just want to make sure the sound comes on. Hopefully everyone will be able to hear this.
Our next guest is a young app creator who had the sweetest reaction when we told him he was coming on the show. Take a look.
Oh my gosh! No, hi!
Oh, Ellen wants you to come and be on her show next week.
What? No, Mom! Oh my no! Oh my gosh, thank you!
From Post Falls, Idaho, please welcome 12-year-old Alex Knoll. Hi!
Hi!
I am so happy to meet you.
This is so great.
No,
Thank you.
you're so incredible. You're amazing. I learned about you because you wrote into the website and you told us about your app. Why did you write in?
Well, you're just my hero. Oh, I can't believe it. You're my hero, and just thank you so much for having me on. This is incredible.
Oh, well, thanks so much. Well, all right, so tell people about, he's creating this app to help people with disabilities, which is the most amazing thing. Tell people what you're doing.
Okay, well, Ability app will be a free app or website that will help people with disabilities navigate public spaces and find safe, reliable services and employment opportunities.
It's amazing. All right. So tell everybody why you wanted, how you had this idea.
Okay, well, it all started when I saw a man in a wheelchair, and he couldn't open a manual door. So I wondered if there was an app that could have told him what other stores around the area had automatic doors. So that day I went home to do some research, and I couldn't find anything like Ability app, so I created it.
So it's not like you had anyone in your family that you just saw a perfect stranger trying to get in a door, struggling, and you thought somebody should be able to look it up and find out where they could go. Unbelievable.
Okay, everyone. Let me get back to our... So that was a brief look into Alex's first appearance at the Ellen DeGeneres Show. So Alex, we would love to hear more about your app. Tell us about this. Talk to us about how you came up with this idea. What is it? We want to know everything we possibly can about the Ability app.
Definitely, yes. So I started developing the Ability app almost 6 years ago now. I was 9 years old. And that was, like I mentioned on the show there, it was when I saw a man in a wheelchair and he couldn't open a manual door at a business in my hometown. So that day I wondered if there was a resource that man could have used to find another business that did have an automatic door that would have allowed him easier access. I couldn't find anything. And after that, there was an opportunity at my school, a program, which I believe is now part of the Invention Convention. It's called Invent Idaho. And I entered my idea into that competition and shared it with other people and got their feedback. And since then, I entered my idea into several competitions, and I've won several awards for the idea. And that's gotten the word out more about accessibility and the Ability app. And through those opportunities, I met more people. I met mentors, new friends that have helped me develop the Ability app and have gotten it to where it is today. So that's where it all got started.
Oh my, it's so impressive. And let me just talk to the audience very quickly because I'm already getting questions for you. If you are watching us live on our webinar, please feel free to ask questions or give words of encouragement through our Q&A button down there. And then if you're watching us on Facebook Live, comment and we will do our best to answer all of your questions. So thank you for that. What grade were you in when you started this invention?
Sure, I was in 4th grade at the time. Wow,
so 4th grade, now you're a 9th grader.
Yes.
So for 5 years, you have worked on the same invention.
Yes, yeah, it's been a long process and I'm getting very close. The app is finished and I'll be able to share the app with all of you watching today. I'll give you a presentation. You'll all be some of the first to see the app where it sits today.
Oh my gosh, that's going to be fun. So yeah, we're going to get a sneak peek at some of your newer developments on the app, correct?
Absolutely. This is the most up-to-date version of the app and everybody will be able to look at the app later. If they sign up for an account, they can use the app whenever they'd like.
That's so crazy. So tell me, how does a 4th grader come up with such a big idea? How does this come to you?
Sure. Well, I guess one of the most simple aspects of it, the idea came about from me just seeing a need, a problem in the world. This man couldn't get into a business. So all I did, I was curious if there was a solution to this problem, if there was a resource that he could have used to find places that meted his needs based on his disability. So I think some of the most amazing ideas in the world come from people just noticing a problem, seeing a need and fulfilling that need and solving that problem. That's where so many great ideas get started is people noticing those needs in the world.
Yeah. And so you notice this need. Do you immediately go to this has to be an app, or were there other things kind of swirling in your head in that initial problem solving phase?
Sure. Well, I kind of brainstormed with my parents, some of my teachers at my school at the time, and we kind of worked out what the best option would be to solve this global problem. So I had a lot of help from people around me that we thought, yeah, an app would be a great way to solve this problem. It's something that can be available to people worldwide. So that's where it came about, where we thought that would be the best option.
Yeah, and so did you know how to code an app, or was that something you had to learn, or who helped you with that?
Yes, so I've learned code. I've learned a little bit to get myself familiar. I have a basic understanding, but I'm not a full stack developer by any means. And for that reason, I'm not a coder. I needed some way to pay my engineers to develop the app. So I became a public speaker in order to pay those development fees. So for the past 5 years, to get the word out about the Ability app and to get donations to the Ability app, I've become a public speaker. I've spoken all over the world. And that's how the app has gotten to where it is today. And along with all of the generous donations, I've had so many people, so many supporters, along with Ellen and Shutterfly, who gave me that very kind check. And that's also helped with some of the fees to get the app developed to where it's the best it can be.
Wow, that is impressive. So you have people who are helping you to bring this app to fruition. What do you public speak about? Is it just about your app, or do you have anything, other things that you talk about?
Definitely. I speak about the app, and I also speak about the importance of accessibility and inclusion for people with disabilities. Along with my mission with getting the word out about the Ability app, I also like to educate people and business owners about how they can make their business more accessible. There are so many things, simple things that people can do if they own a business to make their business more accessible for people. Adding braille menus for people who are blind. There are a lot of actually agencies that can make braille menus for free. So if your business is in need of braille menus for people with vision impairments, I just kind of educate people on what they can do, simple things to make their businesses more accessible. There are so many things that people can do that we all don't realize.
And how did you learn of all these different things that businesses can do?
Sure. Well, I've reached out to so many people. I have a lot of friends with disabilities, and they have been one of the key factors in helping me tailor the app to where it can meet their needs the best, and some of the things that they would like to see in the app that would help meet their needs the most. So I have a lot of friends. If you have an invention, one of the most important things you can do is reach out to your end user, to your customers, and look for their specific needs to make sure that your product will serve them the best it can.
Oh, said brilliantly, because that really is such an important part
Yes.
to making any type of invention. So is that how you tested this app? Like I'm never quite sure. How do you test an app? Is it giving the app to people who would need it and then getting their feedback, or is there more to it than that?
Sure. Well, early on when I had the working viable prototype, I tested it with a small group of people, my family, a couple of my friends with disabilities, and they used the app, made sure that it had all the information that they needed, basic information. So you kind of start with that small group of people, then you move on to a little bit larger beta version, what you call it, of users. And then today we have dozens of people right now and using the app, and all of you here today are free to use the app. This is kind of a launch to all of you today, so you'll all be free to use it.
Oh, great. That will be wonderful. That's such an important part that sometimes our young inventors don't think about. So I appreciate you talking about that particular aspect of invention because it is critical.
Yes.
Someone asked a great question because you did bring up the braille menus and talking to restaurant owners. Have you thought about if a person is blind, how they can access this app?
Definitely. So I want to make sure that the app is accessible for all people with disabilities. The app has 4 categories, which I'll be able to show later on. Mobility, vision, hearing, and cognitive. So those are the overall basic areas of disabilities. And each of those categories in the app, they all have different features that meet the needs of those people with disabilities. And in regards to people who are blind, I wanted to make sure that the app was accessible for them. So recently we made changes for the app to be screen reader friendly and screen reader ready. So people who are blind are able to use the app now. So that's been one of the most recent exciting developments.
Yeah, that's exciting. And great question from the audience. And one, I was
Yes.
thinking, oh gosh, I wonder if he ever thought about that. And of course you have. You seem to have thought about it all. So would you like to show us through your screen share everything you can about your app?
Definitely, I can share it here.
Oh, awesome.
And there we go, share.
And while he's loading up and sharing the app, please feel free to ask questions, send words of encouragement. I think he's thought of it all, so it will be great to hear his answers to some of your questions. Keep those
Yep.
questions coming.
Yes, absolutely. So this is the Ability App website. It's the URL is theabilityapp.com. So if anybody wants to go look at it right now, they're free to do that. Just open up your phone, open up your computer, theabilityapp.com, and there's a button on the top of the website that says click to launch Ability App, and we'll click that right now, and it will take us to the development site, the app. This is the latest version of the app, and it should load here.
While that's loading, can I ask you, are you running your website, or does someone else do that for you?
I have a team. Yes, I work with my parents, and I have a couple of people that I work on the website with, make sure that everything is up to date, everything works well, and I think this should load here.
Sure, it might
Yeah,
take
there
a
we
minute.
go.
Oh, great.
So this is the introductory screen of the app. You're free to look for any type of business that you're looking for. Let's say you are heading on a trip and you want to look for a specific hotel that is accessible for you or your family member. So I have a specific hotel in mind that's accessible in my area. It's Spring Hill Suites in Coeur d'Alene, which is my hometown in Idaho. And we can search that up here. So there's the business listing page. We can click on it. And this screen has all of the information that you'll need if you're looking at the specific business. You can see all of the different ratings for the disability categories. Right here is the mobility category. And each of these features have their own unique features based on that disability. So you can scroll through here. If you have a vision impairment, you can click there. If you have hearing impairment, you click there, or if you have a family member or yourself, you have a cognitive disability, you click on that. All of these features have specific tailored features to that disability. So all of these features down here are different based on every category of disability. So also up here you have the call button. So if you need to get in contact with them, you can call them there. It has the address, the title there, and you can also get directions. And this screen right here, you can scroll through photos that people have taken. So if you want to make sure that the parking outside is accessible, you can see that right there. Make sure that it's easy to access. There's an automatic door at the business. You scroll through here, it has a pool lift for people in a wheelchair. And then if you want to get more into detail, people can read and write reviews here. This is a smiley face system. You can see that I've rated the parking accessible. It's a good smiley face, so it has a 5.0 rating. The public transportation is a little bit far away, so it has kind of a medium rating. And not only do you have these smiley faces, but the numerical ratings over here as well. So the reason we did the smiley face system is for people with cognitive disabilities. It's more of a universal language, the smiley face. You might see it in hospitals based on your pain level. It's just kind of a universal way of saying the level of accessibility, and you also have the numerical there too. So if you want to make sure that the exterior entrance is accessible, you can press this button to the left here, and it will show all of the specific photos that people have taken on that specific feature. So people have taken photos of the automatic door. If you want to make sure that the parking is accessible, you can click that button again, and it'll show the photos based on parking. And if you also want to upload a photo, if you want to upload a photo of your own, you can press this camera icon right there. And you can also write comments based on these specific features. So if I wanted to write a comment based on the parking, people will be able to view it. So you can go into detail based on their opinions. So it'll have all of that listed on the app.
Alex, I am blown away. First of all, having the photos there is brilliant. I would not have thought to do that, but that must be so helpful. We did have a question from the audience when you were discussing the cognitive disability part. What is a cognitive disability?
Definitely. So it's kind of it's a broad range of, it can be many different things. People with autism, maybe people with Down syndrome, if they have family members, they might have extra sensitivity to light, extra sensitivity to smells. So if they want to find a business that is accessible to those needs, they can look for restaurants that have quiet spaces available, spaces that don't have strong smells that might overwhelm that person. So there are so many different aspects of that disability, and they'll be able to find places that are actually accessible.
Wow, so how did you go about researching all of these places? Did you do it? Does the hotel tell you things? How do you research?
Definitely. So early on, kind of getting all these features laid out, making sure that we had all of the right features that people would be looking for. Like I said, I reached out to a lot of people with disabilities. I have a lot of friends with disabilities, and they gave me a lot of great insight on what they would like to see the most, what their most important needs are. And I made sure that I put those in the app. So I made sure I reached out to them. And then based on getting all of this information, all of it will be crowdsourced. So everybody out here today, they can sign up for an account. They can go out to any business they'd like. And just like a Google reviews, look just like a Yelp, they can take photos, they can add comments, and they can review the businesses based on these specific accessibility features. Business owners can also do it, so anybody will be able to upload information.
Oh, that's great. So a business owner could really kind of say, hey, we are accessible to people. Please, here's why, and kind of advertise that through your app.
Yes, that's absolutely correct.
Now, does someone, you or the team that you have, which I definitely want to talk because you've said the word team a couple of times, who those people are, do you look at those, that information to make sure it's correct or that they're not trying to slander someone, or how does that work?
Sure, there are so many, that's definitely a big challenge, making sure that all the information is correct and it's appropriate. There are a lot of tools like AWS, Amazon Web Services, which is the current platform that the app is based on. They have a couple of tools that they're working on that make sure that the photos are appropriate, that they're not an inappropriate photo that are uploaded on the app. And that's something that we'll work on once we have more funds to do so, to have more customer service, and they can go through that, and people monitoring the accuracy of the information. We want to make sure that it's appropriate and accurate. So there are a lot of different ways to go about doing that, making sure it's correct, but we're definitely exploring that every day.
Yep. Okay, great. Now, and that is, that is one of the challenges of having an app. So I'm so glad that you've considered that, you're on it, and that does take a little bit more time. But I love the aspect of people providing you with information, real information that they have experienced at these public locations. So you showed us a hotel, but do you also have other businesses and public places that are on the app?
Definitely, and I can share the screen again.
Sure, great.
Hopefully you can see that. I'll get out of this location. If you want to search for another type of business, you can go back here to this screen, and you can obviously search something on the top search bar if you have a specific business in mind, but you can also scroll through this list here, and it has all of the businesses that you would need. If you want to go out to a restaurant with your family, you can click on that. It has all of the different food and drink options. If you want to go to a restaurant, it'll search for restaurants in my hometown here, so around your area, and it should load here. There we go.
So if I don't know the particular, one of our audience members asked, what if I don't know a hotel and I just want to kind of openly search? It does have that capability.
Definitely. So you can also go to the map view here. This is great if people want to look in a specific area. You have the map here, and you can go to your specific location. I'm up here in Idaho, but if you want to go to Kansas City, for example, and you want to look for restaurants in Kansas City, it'll show all of them there as well on the map. And you can also go over here to this button, and it'll show all of the businesses there. These haven't been reviewed yet because we have no information there in Kansas City. But if there were, the photo would show up here like I just showed in Coeur d'Alene. So I'll go back here to the map, and we can go back up to Coeur d'Alene, for example, so I can show you a business that has been reviewed. There we go. Restaurant, and it'll show them there.
So have you only done, and by only, that's not a slight, you've done so much work on this already. Have you focused on your hometown for your kind of first phase of this?
Yeah, there are a lot of ways to go about sharing it wherever you'd like. We have users all over the country right now. We have a couple dozen users in Ohio. We have users in Tennessee. So it's just kind of a lot of select areas right now. But we're planning in the next couple of months to do a full launch when everything gets back to normal, when COVID-19 is kind of settled down. We want to make
Yeah.
sure that everybody's safe. So we're looking into options to when we want to launch it to the nation or the world. So we're definitely thinking about options, making sure everybody's safe.
Yep.
Sorry,
Okay,
that was the
great.
dishwasher going off, making its noise. But here's the list of businesses in our area that have been reviewed. So if we want to go to, for example, it's a good restaurant here, Old European. Same thing, has the photos, same features. It has a 3.9 rating, so not quite as good as Spring Hill based on mobility, but that's how you search for the businesses. I don't know if hope that answered those people's questions.
Oh, absolutely. I think it did. Another question, and keep those questions coming, everyone. Another question, because you didn't know how to code an app when you first started, and this has been obviously a long process, did you ever get frustrated with this whole thing and either almost quit or just be so frustrated you didn't know where else to turn or what to do?
Oh yeah, so there have definitely been a lot of bumps in the road when I've been developing this app. There have been a lot of naysayers, people that say that you can't do this, but really what you've got to do is you've got to keep a positive attitude. You've got to believe in what you're doing and think about the mission. Think about the end goal of the app, and that was always getting this out to people, getting people using it, and helping them find places that meet their needs. And I've had so many people reach out to me around the world saying how the Ability app will change their lives. After my appearance on the Ellen Show, I received over 30,000 emails, and so many of them were people saying how much this app will mean to them and how much it will change their lives. So many people with disabilities don't even leave their homes because they don't know what places are going to be accessible. So this app will give people so many opportunities to actually be able to explore and know what places are accessible before they leave their homes.
That's incredible. And that must keep you going over
Definitely.
these last 5 years, that you know people want this, you know people need this. And like you said, it can change some lives. We had a question from the audience, a mom who has a child who is disabled. Is this is this for families to go and look up things to be able to help their children?
Absolutely. Family members, caregivers, we want to make sure that the app is usable for everybody, so for all people. So yeah, that's great. I'm glad she asked that question. Yes, absolutely. Anybody can use it. We want to make sure that it helps anybody.
Awesome. So you've mentioned team a couple of times. Who has helped you to build this? Who is with you through the app, the website?
Yes. So recently, I have a couple of new members. I have some people helping on the finance end, making sure that we get the budgeting correct. We want to make sure that we make the best of our resources and making sure that the app is ready and it's the best it can be. So I have my parents as well. They have been they've had a key role throughout this whole process. They're still here. They're still working with me. And yeah, that's kind of the extent of it right now. I have a couple of members. I've got a new CEO, you could say, that'll help guide the company into launch. So yeah, a lot of great people, new members coming in all the time. Every week we've got a lot of new people that have been wanting to help.
That is incredible. So this is a kind of a company, like this is a business, your app. You have a CEO.
Yes, and we're working. Yeah, we want to make sure that the app will be able to sustain itself when it's launched. So yeah, we want to make sure it'll be the best it can be for people.
And that brings up a question we did receive earlier. How do you sustain an app?
Sure, and I'm glad you brought that up. If anybody out there takes accessibility to heart, if they're sponsors, We'd love for you to reach out for us. We're looking for sponsors right now, and definitely looking for investors right now. Anybody that wants to help. So there's no extent to whoever wants to help. That's awesome.
No, that's great. And you never know who's watching and listening today. Hopefully there's someone out there. So is the goal that this is a free app?
Yes, absolutely. From the beginning, we wanted to make it free. Some of the ways to sustain itself, make sure that the app will be able to be up and running is ad space. One of the most simple ways that a lot of people use to make sure the app is still up and running for people, ad space. So we've explored that option, and we believe that'll be a key role in the future to make sure that the app will stay up and running.
Yeah, that's great. And so flashback to you are 9 years old and you're thinking about this, and Invent Idaho is in your school and you have to, oh, okay, I'll come up with something. Did you ever imagine 5 years later what this is like?
Oh, I don't think so. No, at the beginning, I didn't know how this could take off, if it would even succeed. So learning all of these lessons, meeting all of the people that I've met over the last 5 years has been amazing, and I couldn't be more grateful, and all of the opportunities that I've had, and I couldn't be more excited to get the app launched very soon. It's up and running right now.
Oh, that's fabulous. So can we get it through an app store?
So right now, what I just showed you was the web app version. So basically, it's the exact same thing that will be in the App Store. It's just a website, which is more accessible to people that may not have an app store around the world. So all they have to do, like I said, go to theabilityapp.com, and you'll see that bar on the top that says click to launch Ability App, and that is the development site. All you have to do is make an account, and once you have done that, you can use the app freely as much as you like. You can go out if you're in one of the states that's opening up right now. I know there are a couple of states right now that are opening because of COVID-19. Some are opening. They can go out in their hometown, take photos at businesses, give accessibility reviews. And if you're in a state that's not quite opening yet, you can also, if you have a business memorized, you can go through and rate those businesses. You can even call them, ask them if they have a Braille menu, ask them about their specific features, and you can rate the app that way.
Have businesses been very open to your research on them? Have they helped you a lot? Have they been excited to kind of brag about their accessibility to others?
Definitely. I mean, there are over 1 billion people with a disability in the world, almost a quarter of the population, the world's largest minority group. So I don't know what business would want to close their doors to that population. So yeah, getting them excited about accessibility, knowing that if they do choose to make their business more accessible, they'll be getting so much more business from all of these people. So yeah, so many people have been excited, business owners, and they want to make their business accessible.
No, that's great. Absolutely. If I was a business owner, I would say, wait, what do I have? What don't I have?
Yeah.
And then be able to. So you mentioned, in our current state, people might think it's difficult to kind of feed the website and the app right now because we're not out and about. I think the same thing is happening with young inventors, that I'm just stuck at home. There's really nothing I can do. I can't problem solve. I can't invent. What advice would you have for young inventors who are home and looking to still carry on with invention and problem solving and think that they can't?
Definitely. There's so many things you can do at home. You can look online, look for, like I said, look for problems, look for needs in the world. And you don't have to come up with a solution right away. Just write those problems down, things that you notice, and then maybe come back to them later and find a solution for those problems. So make sure you write down things that you notice, and look at them and see what you can do to solve those problems and fulfill those needs. So I mean, I'm sure people, if you have cardboard in the garage, if you want to make a physical prototype for your invention, you can use some of those materials. Have your parents help you, and just anything that can get the idea across, get people saying, oh, that's what that is. Having something to show people what your invention is all about. So there's so many things you can do at home.
Awesome. I think that's key right now. Kids still want to invent, they want to solve problems, but it seems like, oh, I can't do that anymore. I'm stuck at home. I don't go to school. I don't go out, but there's still so many ways that you can be solving problems even when you're at home. So I appreciate that advice. If you had to mentor one young inventor, what is the one or two things you would tell them to inspire them to keep inventing like you have?
Sure. Well, I would sit down with them, and there's something that a lot of companies do that's called whiteboarding, and they go and kind of think of ideas, write them down on a whiteboard, write them down on a piece of paper, and they kind of collaborate with each other and try to find solutions to those ideas that they have. So just kind of brainstorm with them, think of ideas if they haven't thought of a specific invention to go ahead with yet. And then I would have them reach out to people. You should never be afraid to reach out to people that might want to help. You'd be amazed at how many people actually would want to help, no matter how successful, no matter how famous. I've been able to be in contact with Ellen and Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple. So you never know who's out there and might want to help you. So never be afraid to reach out. The worst thing I can say is no. So don't be afraid. And there are so many people that might want to help you in your community, anywhere.
That's great advice. Just ask and let's see where it goes, right?
Absolutely. Having good people around you that can guide you in the right direction is so important.
Yeah. So you mentioned Ellen. I just want to quickly ask, were you born a public speaker, or did this happen as you grew up, or did this Invent Idaho and Invention Convention programs, does that bring it out in kids and help kids?
Yeah, I've always loved talking with others. I've always loved speaking with people. And in order to get this idea across to people, you've got to be a good communicator. So it's important if you have an invention, you can't get it out to people if you can't communicate what your idea is. So this app and this whole invention process has been something that has helped me be more comfortable speaking in front of others, public speaking. But it's been very important to make sure that I can get the point across and speak with others freely. So it's definitely helped me a lot, but I've always been comfortable speaking with people.
Oh, great. A couple of teachers have texted me to get your opinion on Invention Convention programs. What is the importance of schools offering these programs to their students, and then for the students to want to become a part of these programs?
Yeah, so without the Invent Idaho, which I mentioned, I don't even know if I would have moved forward with the Ability app. So having these programs available are so important. Without Invent Idaho, I would have just had an idea and I didn't know how I could move forward with it, how I could share it with people. And Invent Idaho was the amazing way to get others thinking about it, sharing it with others. So teachers out there, anybody that wants to have that become part of their curriculum, it's awesome. It's great to get kids involved and invent. So it's important. I hope more schools adopt this whole ideology of the inventing. It's so important.
Yep, great. And again, like you said earlier, when you were in 4th grade and were first introduced to the program and thinking about your idea, you never knew that 5 years later, this would be your life and your thing. And we just congratulate you because it's such amazing work and you're such an inspiration to both young and veteran inventors, I think.
Yes, that's great. Thank you so much.
Oh, awesome. Well, I don't know if you know, but next week is Teacher Appreciation Week.
Yes.
And that is a week that is meant to celebrate and recognize all educators who are working such long hours, especially nowadays, to teach our youth. Do you have a special teacher to thank, one that helped you with your invention, or another favorite of yours?
Definitely. There is one teacher I have in mind out there. Her name is Mrs. Brubaker. And she was the person in charge of Invent Idaho at my school. She's actually one of the founders of Invent Idaho. She's one of the masterminds behind it. But with all of her help, I was able to get the Ability app out there to people. So without her, I don't know if I would be sharing with all of you here today. So I want to thank her and all of her help and all of her support. And I want to thank her for all of her amazing ideas.
Oh my goodness, she will love that. Hi, Miss Brubaker. We love her too, so we understand how amazing she is.
Yes, and thanks to all the teachers out there. It's a rough time we're going through, but I'm hoping that it'll all get better soon. But thanks to all the teachers out there.
Oh, that's awesome. And the Invention Convention Worldwide program would like to thank all of the hardworking teachers who are continuing to run Invention Convention programs virtually. Quite a shift they've had to make and a pivot that they've had to make. We appreciate your efforts, the efforts you give your students to be able to learn these real life skills through inventing and continuing on with those programs. Has just been amazing during this time. Alex, do you have anything else you'd like to tell our listeners? I know you got to ask for a little help. Is there anything else that we didn't talk about?
No, I mean, I just want to thank everybody for watching today. It's great to hear from all of you. Thanks for all of your questions. And if you want to look at the Ability app, just go to theabilityapp.com and you can sign up for an account and start using the app today. So thank you, everybody.
And you are on social media, right?
I am. Yes, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So you can find me there.
He is on LinkedIn. I remember when I first found you and I said, oh my gosh, I'm going to write to him and he's never going to write back. And he did. Thank you so much, Alex, for joining us today. And
it's great to talk with you. And thanks everybody for tuning in.
Oh my gosh, your work is just so impressive. We're honored to have you on our little old show, even though you were big time. And thank you to everyone watching. We do have one quick announcement that you can get some resources. So we are pleased to announce that season 1 of Did I Mention Invention is coming to Pluto TV. Pluto TV is a live TV streaming service with over 22 million users. Viewers can watch Pluto on devices like Roku, Apple TV, and Chromecast, along with smart TVs and streaming via PCs and mobile. This show has interviewed many Invention Convention young inventors, so check it out. Have you seen this show, Alex?
No, I haven't. I'll have to check it out.
Oh, please do. It's phenomenal. Allie Ward is the host, and she's great. And she interviews inventors, and then her closing segment is usually an Invention Convention young inventor.
That's awesome. So that sounds great.
Yeah, so check it out, and she should be calling you too.
Oh, great. That's awesome.
We should reach out to her because you would be phenomenal.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's a great show, so I hope people do check it out. And again, please join us next Friday as we celebrate young inventors. We're actually going to be doing something a little bit different. We have a copyright and trademark attorney joining us, and he's going to talk to us about what we should know and what we should do as young inventors, next steps for young inventors. So we're really excited about him being willing to join us. And we'd like to thank everyone for watching today, and a very special thanks to our donors who make these programs possible. So thank you again, Alex.
Thank you so much. Great to talk with you.
Great to speak with you. And Charisma, take it away. Oh, remember, we have some great merchandise people can purchase. We have great free resources for you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alex.
Bye.